Okay, I'm here for my last sample of the night, or is it my last sample of the month? Something like that. I've done 3 samples already, 2 of them from Catnap G, and 1 of them from Donner Pass Whisky, and this is another one from Donner Pass Whisky. It is the Bowmore Vault Edition #1 Atlantic Sea Salt, bottled at 51.5% ABV. It does not say non-chill, filtered, and not colored here, which is usually what Donner Pass puts on here, non-chill, filtered, and not colored. So this may be filtered and colored, but we're going to try it anyway, because it's a sample that was sent to me. Let's open this up. A lovely 50 milliliter sample in a bottle that once contained Shelter Point artisanal single malt. All right, and this one has some bubbles on the side, which signifies high ABV. In this case, it says 51.5%. That should be enough. I'm already feeling the vapors from the last 3 whiskeys that I had, none of which were under 40% ABV. So, and one of them was in the 50s somewhere. This one's also in the 50s. So, 4 of those, you can get pretty wrecked and wasted. Oh, small drops trailing down. Very, very small drops. If you can see any of those, they are tiny, tiny drops. Now, what do I get on the nose? Let's have some water. I've already cleansed my palate with a bunch of oat cakes. On the nose, I'm not getting a lot here. This Bowmore Vault Edition #1. Now, am I going to get any sea salt on the nose or anything at all? Not much now. Maybe my nose was killed by the bourbon I had just before, and that was Catnap G's bourbon blend, his blend #2. Well, I'm getting something. Yeah. Vaguely fruity, yes, and vaguely salty, yes. It's going to be a little bit of effort to coax something out of this one. I have to coax it out. Yeah. I'm getting something fruity. A little bit of honey in there with the fruit. Tiny little bit of peat. I would have expected a little more peat from Bowmore. But maybe that will manifest itself later on after I've maybe smelled it some more and added some water to it and tasted it. That's not the stage I'm at yet. I'm just at the nosing stage. I'm tempted to just taste this. I've seen Bowmore vault editions in the store, and they are not cheap. Especially these stores in British Columbia. But if I like this, I might be tempted to go get a bottle. Eventually. I don't know what to make of this yet. I'm getting something a little bit citrusy. But isn't Bowmore usually having some sherry cask involved? I don't know if this has any. What about the color on that? It looks palish. Maybe there's a bit of sherry involved. I get a touch of it on the nose. Can't tell what sherry it is, but a little bit of sherry influence. Oh, my mouth is getting dry. And that's probably from the other things I've had already tonight. Let's get the last drops out of this bottle. Okay. A little bit of water. Okay, here goes. Oh. Much more interesting on the palate than it was on the nose. I'm getting some sherry, heavy sherry, heavy sherry, lots of sherry, and a little bit of peat smoke just to add an accent to it. That's just on the first little taste, the first little sip. Surprisingly, I'm not getting much on the nose at all. A hint of sherry. Not much else. That could be colored by the fact that I had some bourbon blend that was in the 50s, probably high 50s in the way of ABV. That may have spoiled me for the night. Okay. This was spectacular on the first sip. Let's try it again. Small sips. Oh. Lots of sherry and or wine. And just a bit of peat smoke to add an accent to it on the finish. Interesting. I wonder what this Vault edition costs. I might be tempted to get a whole bottle of it. Wow. Okay, well, we'll continue with this a little bit. As there's still plenty in the glass to go around, at least for me. And it is 51.5%, so it's no slouch. It's not weak at all. And I think I've got everything out of the bottle that I could get. I'm trying to get the last drops. I think I got them already. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I might have to seek out some of this Vault Edition Bowmore because it is favorable. It's treating me favorably. There is sherry, yes. On the nose, oh, I'm getting tired. I'm gonna have to go to sleep soon. On the nose and on the palate. That's what happens. You do 4 of these videos a night, or 4 of these videos in one sitting or in one stretch. Well, I've been at it for 2 or 3 hours now. This is my 4th in a row. Yeah, some sherry. Yeah, it's a bit malty. Not much else on the nose, really. It's quite neutral. But on the palate, there's that effervescent blast of dark, ripe fruits. Not dried fruits, just dark and ripe. Dark and ripe. And there's that accent of peat smoke added to it on the finish. That's pretty much what I get from the Bowmore Vault Edition #1. Atlantic sea salt. I didn't get that much sea salt on it. There's maybe a bit of a salt spray, as Bowmore is right next to the ocean. It's not really salty, it's just there's a bit of that spray. There's a bit of that spray, but it's not overpowering. I got to do that again and look for the salt. Look for that Atlantic sea spray. First, a bit of water. Okay, I'm ready. Okay. Now I definitely get the sea spray with that sherry, that heavy enough sherry note. Oh, and then towards the end, there's a hint of peat, but it's not that much. I'm going to add just a little bit of water just to see what it will do to this. There, that's about 3 drops. Okay, here we go. Okay. On the nose now that I've added a few drops. Oh, excuse me all the way to wherever. Ugh. The couple drops of water have not coaxed out more of the peat smoke. If anything, I'm getting a little bit more sherry on the nose, but this is not a big whiskey for nosing. Bowmore Vault Edition #1 Atlantic Sea Spray does not have a lot to give on the nose. Where it shines and where it opens up is on the palate. On the nose, it's pretty neutral. I'm not getting a lot of peat. I'm not getting a lot of anything on the nose. And I think that's pretty much what I've experienced from the beginning of this dram. But now, on the palate, with some water, okay, subtle sherry. It's not overpowering, it's subtle. But then it becomes a little stronger. It comes a little stronger as after it's been swallowed. And then towards the end, I'm getting a peat smoke finish, but it's not overpowering peat. It's just gentle peat that fades in after the sherry is on its way fading out. I think this is an expensive whiskey. And I'm not sure that I would buy a bottle. It's something to try. Yes, it has some of that salty, briny spray from the Atlantic. It has some sherry, not too much that would offend people who don't like sherry. And then it has some peat smoke, but not so much that would offend those who are not crazy about peat smoke. In other words, it's a balance. It's a balance. Slanchava.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food quick.
Food Quig.
Food quick.
Yeah.